Okay, VW Sportsman up next. Not sure synchronated star jumps are the way forward, gentlemen, but whatever. So Nigel Gregson taking a bye run. Looking for 16.10. We've still got a number of first round races to go, but we will whittle the day down a lot quicker from now on anyway. So Steve Stone in the Kestrel lane with the Ford Sail. Golf over there taking on Steve Metcalf. Now the top of the points are, yeah, it's pretty much a lock for Paul Robinson. Phil Jones can get there if everything falls in his direction. The real battle is for 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th because there's money up for grabs in VW Sportsman. Steve Metcalf off and running first. Gets roughly a second advantage on the tree. It is Steve Metcalf rolling through for the win. 70-02 and a 1687. They're almost dead even on the tree. And he was closer to his dial-in. So Jake Fronda was due to take on Bruce Harvey, who I don't see down here in the Gulf. $12.49. Doesn't matter what the ET is, as long as he took the green light, it would be a win. Okay, your next pair. Nigel Coulson and Andrew Bambrick. Andrew with the Golf in the Auto Glim Lane was the #1 qualifier. Very close looking race, actually. It's going to be by the least of the two breakouts. Andrew Bambrick, he goes, well, 1 thou under. Unfortunately for Nigel Coulson, he got there first, but he was quite a bit too quick. So Jerry Sadler from Mildenhall, Kestrel side of the racetrack with the old-fashioned Beetle. Sorry. The new fashion Beetle, I think that is. Against Thomas Circuit from Buckingham with the Lupo. 3 seconds on the start line. The difference between the two. It'll be the Lupo going first. Lupo goes red, 0-2. The win light for Jerry Sadler came on before he even left the start line. Car on the other lane, red lit. Well, that's a shame for Al Medley. That wasn't how he was getting home. So, Reece Finney from Buckingham with another loop. Actually, it's all loopos all the time this time round. However, very distinct performance difference between the two. Reece Finney, 16.95. Daniel Boucher, 12.55. Nearly 4.5 seconds. Just make sure Daniel Boucher's gear is all correct and in the right order. Oh, Daniel sits there for all that time and then goes red by 0-2. It's Reece Finney going to be keeping it alive for the Lupos in round 2. You can see the win light in his lane. You can see the win light past the finish line too. So, Hazel Carter with another one of those pesky Passats. In the Autogolem lane, 15 flat taking on Larry Ainslow. Larry with a 17.15. Larry the higher qualified car, however, that don't matter. Well, Larry is away first. Thing is, though, Hazel's actually not catching her. Hazel should have been a lot closer by now. I think Larry, as long as she looks over her shoulder and doesn't break out, has got this one. Yep, 17.43. Nice job. Hazel Carter bows out with a 16.98. Just didn't leave the start line right. I think that was the problem for Hazel that time. So it's down to Rob to continue the Passat tradition for the day. A few more pairs around one of VW Sportsman. Rob Creswell, for once, not racing his wife. Down there in the Kestrel lane, 16.05 against Phil Jones. Let me just refresh my points memory. Yeah, Phil Jones is number 2 in the championship down there in the Auto Glim lane with that little Audi A3. It's a big ask. It's a big ask to overhaul Paul Robinson, but I'm sure he's going to give it a go. Phil Jones loses out in round 1. Unbelievable. Rob Creswell takes the win. Not this unbelievable Rob Creswell run, but he lesser of the 2 breakout. Rob Creswell was a very tough draw in round 1 anyway. He's pretty damn good himself. So Phil Jones, number 2 in the championship, is out in round 1. I think he'll probably still finish number 2, depending on what happens behind him. Daniel Boucher's already gone out. So it's really John Crawford, Lawrence Kark and Jerry Sadler. So Danny B goes first with the wagon. It says Lupo on the screen. It's definitely not a Lupo. Paul Robinson's going to try and run him down with the TT. Very, very close at the stripe as well, that one. Paul Robinson gets there. 14.69 on a 14.69. Bang on his dial-in. A breakout for Danny Bean, but he couldn't get there first anyway because there was a reaction time advantage in the Auto Glim lane. Excellent run. So John Crawford is one of those in like a 3-way scrap. 3rd place in the VW Sportsman Championship, which is a good thing to have. It's worth money. 1570 in the Kestrel side of the racetrack, taking on Connor Jones with the White Pearl from Rugby. Connor's going to go first with a 1997. So John Crawford is off and running in chase mode. I think he probably saw how long Connor Jones took to leave the start line. However, he's not really catching him. Yeah, Connor Jones breaks out by a second and a half. My goodness me. He was never going to win that. John Crawford took that relatively easily with a 1585 and a 1570. A reaction time of difference of about a second and a half. So, again, one of those in that scrap for third place in the championship, which is well worth having, like I said, because it's worth money, is Lawrence Clark in the Auto Glim lane, taking on the one and only Lottie Bradford. Lottie in 17.70, did really well in qualifying, ended up number 3. Tough draw for Lawrence Clark in round 1. It's not shifting. He pulls over as long as Lottie doesn't break out, which he doesn't. Oh, won't he just? 1783 on a 70. That's Lawrence Clark out of the running as well. So we've had a few of them in the top flight in VW Sportsman go out early. Okay, Polly Judge and Morgan Wilson. Two of our lady racers. Both of them absolutely exemplary at baking cakes and making us fat up here in the tower, I might add. Morgan used to bake the world's best or worst brownies, depending on whether you consider worst, like, increase your weight line. Yeah, Morgan is out in front. That's the reaction time. Sorry, I beg your pardon. The tree difference. Polly's going to do her best to run her down, but she's not getting there at the moment. Morgan is still quite way in front. If she backs off, which I'm sure she will. Oh, that was closer than she wanted it to be. 1783. A few tenths difference in reaction time on the start line. Polly was slightly slower as well. 17.14. Your winner is Morgan Wilson. Okay, Justin Foley. Just down the road in Urchester, 1586 with the Audi TT. And John Gallant with the Scirocco from Birmingham. With those mesmerising wheels. Green light drag race. John Gallant is off and running first. I think that could be the last pair for VW Sportsman. The winner is Justin Foley. 0.2 over the stripe. He had 0.15 actually on the tree, which is the main thing that made the difference. And close to his dial-in as well. Only 500 second off. Well done, Justin. VW Pro, round number 1. Lots of racing to go. We are whittling everything down as quick as we possibly can. Rob Carter over there with Percy the Passat. He's already through to the semi-finals of Street Eliminator. However, he's going to have another go here in VW Pro. 850 is his dial-in the Kestrel lane against Phil Blogg. 11.40 for Phil. Well, Phil is way out there in front. I think he's going to get there first, but Rob's not far behind. Rob goes 883, 157 miles an hour trying to run him down. But look at that from Phil Blogg. Reaction time advantage, 11:41 on 11:40. Let me just see. VW Pro. Yep, Graham Fairhead already has the championship. Phil Blogg, by taking that round win, gives himself a shout at being in the top 3, actually. So, Jake Fronda, number 1 in qualifying in VW Pro. .11:30 is dial. Goes 11:49. 120 miles an hour. Seriously quick. So, the champ for this year, Graham Fairhead. In the Autoglym lane. 10:69, he qualified number 4 with the 10:73 against Jonathan Newell. So around about a second, Graham Fairhead's going to wait on the start line before he gets the green light. Well, it looks like he's already caught him by 3:30, actually. They're neck and neck all the way up. That's a really close race, actually. Well, it is Graham Fairhead taking the win. Breakout from Jonathan Newell. Goes 11:51 on 60. That's too quick. So, Chris Poynier with the Green Goblin. Castro Lane, 11:35. Against Jacob with the Jetta. So Chris is going to go first by just over a second. He nearly jumped too soon. Stopped himself though. Jacob's going to try and run him down. That's really tight at the top end. I think Jacob Bailey's just nudged that one. He has indeed. 10:58. He was quicker on the tree as well. That was the main difference. Slightly closer to the dial in the other lane. Okay, Chris Waterhouse with the bad habit against James Hodson. VW Pro number 1 from last year for James. It's his last event wearing that number. Oh dear, and he caps his season with a red light, unfortunately. It was an 03 red. He doesn't want to look at what Chris Waterhouse's reaction time was because it was 0.49. There is Chris going through to round 2. Okay, a few more cars to go, couple more cars to go in VW Pro. Right behind them, round 2 of Pro ET, and also Nostalgia Superstock right behind them too. We've still got lots of first rounds to go there for the smaller class fields. So, Ian Dale with the strip burner, 12.40, 8.35 for Luke Stevenson. Did a Hes gasket the other day on his only qualifying run. They worked for a long time to fix it. Dragster a little lazy off the start line. Not sounding healthy through the finish line, but he gets the win, most importantly, because Ian Dale broke out 0.02 of a second. So Luke Stevenson comes back one more time. 9.12, 144 miles an hour. That was absolutely not what they were looking for, but a round win is a round win. So we're on with racing. Sam Young and Charles Roberts. Hopefully that was mercifully. Well, Sam Young is long gone, looking for 8.75, doesn't want to break out, goes 8.72 quick. I don't think they care though, 162 miles an hour, really nice straight, strong run. Charles Roberts takes the win. If you ever want to know how to do a burnout in your street car, by the way, that's the way to do it. Hold the handbrake. Especially if it's front wheel drive. So, Andrew Bambrick will be getting a bye run in this round of racing. Looking for 13.41. 13.26. Breaks out, but it doesn't matter at all because there was no one opposing in the other lane. Justin Foley and Reece Finney up next. Lupo versus... It says Golf Mark 2 on the screen. I'm sure they do that just to confuse me. That's an Audi TT, definitely. So Reece with the Lupos off and running. It's a green light race. Brake lights coming on. Well judged. Reece, 17.23, takes the win. Justin took the stripe though, but broke out by, well, that much. 15.73, sorry. Over the stripe first with an 061, but it wasn't good. Steve Metcalf in the Beetle, Kestrel side of the racetrack, taking on Paul Robinson, who is your championship leader at the moment. I think if he goes one more round, he might actually sew it up because no one else can go past him. But that depends on what Steve Metcalf does. He's catching him. He's catching him. I think he's caught him. And the brake light's coming on. Say it is Paul Robinson. Very nicely judged there. 14.90 takes the win. Also 0.15 on the tree. Certainly helped out a lot. It's always good seeing that quarter mile cam as well with just how close things are at the finish line because it's unbelievably close a lot of the time. So now that Paul Robinson's gone through, John Crawford, who's in number 3 down here in the Auto Glim lane, 15.80. Professor John Crawford, I haven't called him that for ages. Sorry, John. Taking on Jerry Sadler with the Beetle. John Crawford, I think it's a very big ask to get the top spots now. He's number 3 at the moment. Yeah, oh, it is. He can't do it, I beg your pardon. The highest he can hope for is number 2, but he's got to stay in competition for the rest of the day. Well, Jerry Sadler kind of moved before the tree had fully run. That'll be a red light. John Crawford moves on. With another round win. And a rather large breakout. 15.49 on a 15.80. But he didn't need to worry about it because his win light was already on. Rob Creswell from Sharnbrook, just over the back of the grandstand. In the Kestrel lane against Nigel Gregson. Two more pairs, then we're on to Sportsman. We've also got round 2 of Junior Drag Bike coming up too. Yeah. Okay. So, Adam Lowe is champion in Outlaw Flat Thor. Thank you very much indeed, Simon. Rob Creswell and Nigel Gregson, both very close together, all the way down the track. Hardly anything in it at all, which is the way it's supposed to be. Brake lights coming on. Rob Creswell, very well judged, sir. 16.14 takes the win. Win margin 0.17. That was comparatively easy. Nothing's easy in drag racing, but 0.17 margin is big. So, Lottie Bradford taking on Larry Ainslow. It's going to be fun. Around about 0.6 of a second-ish. The Beetle's going to leave the line, well, going to take the green first. I always say leave the line. It's not necessarily that way round. It depends on their reaction times. Well, I won't say anything about reaction times, simply because just in case they've got the radios on, so it gives them someone potentially a bit of an advantage. Doesn't look like Lowry's catching Lottie, to be honest. It is Lottie that takes the win. Lowry with an 18.47 on a 17.15, not quite enough to get it done. They were only 100th apart on the tree, but it was Lottie Bradford who takes the win. Okay, so Morgan Wilson and Jake Fronda lining up. Well, I'll tell you what the best news is, Simon. The best news, Brett Cordell walking around, which is terrific to see. Morgan Wilson, long gone, going to be chased down by Jake Fronda. It looks like an awfully long way. However, that gap's going to come down incredibly quickly at the top end. Jake is braking. And it's Morgan taking the win, 17.89 on an 80. Jake broke out by quite a lot, actually. He was over the stripe first. Over the stripe first. That's what Nan gets for her birthday. Look at that. Both of them into round 3. We just have a dwindling amount of time being the problem. So, Charles Roberts with the 5 up, with the 5-cylinder. Like the graphics on the side of that, looks really smart. 11.50 is his dialing. This is a buy run though. For a lot of these races, this is going to be their last runs of the season too. It goes red on the tree. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter at all. I can also see round the back of the tower the next round of 850 bike, which is going to be absolutely nerve-jangling because it is championship decider time. Jake Fronda out again in the Kestrel lane, double classing. Against Jacob Bailey. 11.23, Jake's going to go nearly a second before Jacob. All kinds of problems hooking up that time for Jacob Bailey. I'm not sure he's going to get there, but he's not far off at all. Oh, not quite. 144 mile an hour charge at the finish line for Jacob Bailey just wasn't quite enough. Jake Fronda goes through with 11.42. Win. Okay, Graham Fairhead. Taking on Phil Blogg. Graham is actually confirmed as champion, I think, in VW Pro. It's always reassuring to see a nod when I say things. I don't get nods at home, ever. So it's really nice to have some form of approval. Wow, they were both wide awake on the tree for that one. Deadly close. Graham Fairhead takes the win. He was 0.2 on the tree to an 0.4, and he was over the finish line by 0.16. Here we go then with the last car. Chris Waterhouse should be taking on Luke Stevenson. Luke is down there in his shorts filming. That's a cracking looking run for Chris Waterhouse. He dials a 10 flat. Goes 10.0. 137 miles an hour. VW Sportsman, round 3. The round of 8, I think. So we've got 4 races here. We've got 4 races with Sportsman ET that are right behind them as well. Bye run for Lottie Bradford, first of all, into the semi-finals on her Nan's birthday. How cool is that? Celebrating Nan's birthday inside by going rounds. Up next we have a side-by-side race. Paul Robinson and Andrew Bambrick. Andrew was your number 1 qualifier with a Mark II Golf in the Auto Glim Lane. And he goes red by 0-4. It will be Paul Robinson moving on to the semi-finals. Morgan Wilson, can she join her cousin in the semis? Lottie Bradford is already there. It's got to get round John Crawford, though. Both of these two super tough racers. Morgan away first, followed by John Crawford. They are absolutely side by side. John's pulling alongside and John Crawford takes the win. 15.93 on an 80. Nicely judged, sir. And an 18.05. Unfortunately, Emmy bounds out for the last time this season. Rachel giving everybody goodbye hugs, which is always nice. Rob Creswell taking on Reese Finney. Reese 16.95, Rob with a 16.05. So Reese Finney looks like he's in the lead, and he is. Takes the win with a 17.07. Rob Creswell bows out with a 16.31. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, again, thank you very much indeed for staying with us right till the end. We are done for the day. Unfortunately, because the vast majority of our classes, we didn't get to run finals, we won't be having a trophy presentation, I'm sure, and the trophies for. We did finish a few classes, but not many. So once again, thank you to all of our racers for sticking with us. We're really sorry that it ended like that. It was just one of those things. We couldn't go over time this evening, and just with the amount of on-track incidents we had today, it was just a crazy, crazy day. But once again, thank you. That's the wrap for the 2022 Championship season. We love all of you. Have a safe trip home. See you again at Easter.